Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Don Mafia Report, live Monday through Friday at around 10-ish a.m. EST. I think I've actually been running for about 10:15 for the past couple of weeks. I appreciate your patience, but have no fear. We have a topic that I think might be a difficult pill to swallow. However, I think this defense is going to turn the corner. And by turn the corner, I'm going to pour gasoline on this hot take. I think that the Buffalo Bills, by the end of the season, are going to finish top 10 in a lot of metrics that they have struggled with for the first quarter of the season. That's right. Run defense. There's also going to be coverage as well. Hear me out. Bear with me. We're going to be talking about this, and I'm super excited about it. And many other topics. I'll probably end up opening up the Garage Beer hotline as well later on in today's episode, so fasten your seatbelts. Folks, as you're coming in, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up sign for me. It's the easiest way to show love on this channel. Secondly, to, maybe just mention it to a friend that is obsessed with the Buffalo Bills and or the NFL. On top of that, I need each and every single one of you to hit that to roll call in the chat, brain fart. Let me know where you're tuning in from. What corner of the globe are you tapping in from this morning? Do not be shy. I am talking to the lurkers in the building as well. As always, I need to give a giant shout out to a couple of our proud partners today, and that just so happens to be William Mattar Law Offices. Folks, if you are ever hurt in a car, you gotta call William Mattar, #1 car accident attorney in the state of New York. I would never wish a car accident on anybody, but say that it does happen to you. It's very important that you have the right representation in your corner. Please memorize the phone number on screen and always keep William Mattar top of mind if you are ever in that terrible scenario. Also need to give a giant shout out to our good friends over at Sleeper Picks, folks. #1 player prop platform on the market today. Signing up, you get a free $20 to put toward your first play on the platform. Once you end up putting down cash, they match at 100% all the way up to $100. Get in on the action. The #1 player prop platform in America, in the world, if you were to ask me. Shout out to Sleeper for being a proud partner of today's show. Let's go ahead and see where everyone's tapping in from real fast. How far does Bills Mafia truly extend? Man, look at that. We have Jamestown, New York is in the building. Buffalo, New York. Surprise, Arizona. I'm driving to work. Rochester, New York is in the building. Down the way, Buffalo. Central Indiana. Puerto Rico is in the building. Lakeville, Pennsylvania. Did they activate Mad Max? They certainly did, my friend. They certainly did. Shout out to Buffalo Fanatics for the beautiful graphic. We're going to be discussing this. Have no fear. We have Chattanooga is in the building. Man, we have Frankville, New York, rocking that delivery van route. Dan along for the ride. Olean, New York is in the building. Trade for either Saints receiver. Oh, we'll get there, baby. Don't worry about that. Richmond, Virginia is in the building. Heart of South Buffalo. Lurkerville. Is that a real place? I'm not sure, but I love it. Virginia Beach is in the building. London, United Kingdom. Buffalo, snowy. Good afternoon to you, my friend. New York City is in the building. San Antonio is in the building. Iowa, Land Lakes, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Missoula, Montana. I'm envious. I love Montana. And last but not least, Elkin, North Carolina. So a lot of you guys are probably saying Dan has lost his mind. He's coming out and he's pouring gasoline on an already hot take. In fact, to the untrained eye, perhaps you might think that I have completely gone off of the rails, off of my rocker, and I'm just full-on delusional. However, I feel like that there has been a picture painted of this team, and I feel like any time that you incorporate injuries, people end up saying, oh, there's no excuse, it's next man up. They need to be able to rise to the occasion. Some people might say, oh my God, look at what the San Francisco 49ers did on the defensive side of the football. They are so injured. Buffalo has no excuse. Well, here's the thing. I empathize with that. I'm fine with saying, hey, look, some coaches can figure it out. Some can't. I'm going to chalk it up as a couple of bad days. But I kind of wanted to start off with this run defense because there's no sugarcoating it, folks. we struggle to stop the run, specifically in the first half of the football game. Second half is an entire different conversation. We make adjustments. Me and Kevin have a theory that Sean McDermott actually ended up taking over play calling for the second half of the Atlanta Falcons game the other week, but that's a video for a different time. However, I have a feeling that the two guys we're bringing back are really going to take our defensive line to the next level. You often hear me say that a good defensive line is always going to elevate a piss-poor secondary or an above-average secondary. And I don't think enough of us really are putting in a lot of weight into what Larry Ogunjobi is going to mean for the defensive tackles on this team. Now, I was curious because, you know what? Like, I was just like, you know what? How good against the run is Larry Ogunjobi? And what I ended up pulling up is last year in 2024, he ultimately ended up 19.68% of the time he had a run tackle percentage, right? Which I suppose at first glance, you're like, okay, Dan, what is that really going to do for this team? But the big eye opener for me, folks, I scrolled down and I asked Sumer Brain to compare the current defensive tackles of the Buffalo Bills in 2025. And the numbers I'm not so much excited about, but rather it was the names that really told me the full story of this Buffalo Bills interior defensive line. We had TJ Sanders out there for quite a bit of run opportunities, 40. We had Zion Laug out there for quite a bit. We had Jordan Phillips out there for quite a bit. We had Deon Walker out there for quite a bit. We had Ed Oliver miss the vast majority of the season outside of the Falcons game and the Baltimore Ravens game on week 1. And then Mathis as well, who is also a practice squad guy. So when you look at what this Buffalo Bills interior was for the first 7 games of the season, or the first 6, excuse me, most of the time, the Buffalo Bills were giving a lot of snaps to either a rookie and or a practice squad player all season long. All season long, folks. You had a practice squad player out there being asked to play as a first in the depth chart type defensive tackle. And no disrespect to Big Phil, no disrespect to Zion Laug, but doesn't it make a little more sense now, folks? Like, doesn't it make a little more sense now that Buffalo is letting up on average 5.6 yards per carry, especially when the A-gap is pounded by opposing running backs? It certainly does. So now what I want you to do is I want you to take Larry Ogunjobi, and you ultimately end up putting him with his career 15.8% run tackle percentage, even if you want to go off of 2024, his 19.68, and you replace that, right, with the Jordan Phillips of the world, who right now is only having an 8.3% run percentage tackle, or the Zion Laugs of the world, or the TJ Sanders of the world. Hell, even the Daquan Jones players of the world. I'm not sure how long Daquan Jones is going to be out. And so all I know is that he completely messed up his calf in pregame warmups. I could only imagine that dude is quote unquote week to week. So having a healthier interior defensive tackle rotation is only going to help this team. When Daquan Jones comes back, you have Ogunjobi, you have Deon Walker, you have Ed Oliver. Hopefully TJ Sanders can come out on like specific pass play protection scenarios. But adding Larry Ogunjobi to this interior on paper, based off of career statistics, based off of the fact that he is a veteran who is likely going to be able to be put in play almost immediately, is only going to help this team. So do not be shocked, folks. Do not be shocked if when we play the Carolina Panthers and we go up against Rico Dowdle, right, and we see this Buffalo Bills run defense show a significant improvement. And no, I'm not saying that we're going to shut them down to 20 to 30 yards. I would be thrilled if that were the case. But I do anticipate a significant improvement. I really, really do. Now, moving on to our good friend Michael Hoecht. Damn, man, what's he going to bring to this roster? I'll tell you what. He's largely a hype guy, right? Had some splash plays with the Los Angeles Rams last year. especially in the playoffs. He looked pretty good. But the big thing for me here, guys, is Michael Hoecht now really allows this defensive line's rotation to hit its pinnacle. You ultimately end up seeing Gregory Rousseau and AJ Epinesa rotating their share of snaps. But you're seeing our offseason acquisition in Joey Bosa out there for close to about 64% of the snaps. If you were to ask me where Joey Bosa is in his career, I feel like where his snap count is currently, not ideal. If you want the most out of Joey Bosa, you got to get him at about that 40% mark. Dare I say 50, like right smack dab in the middle. You need to make sure that this defensive line is as rested as humanly possible, and you plug and play these players in on specific situations. Adding Michael Hoecht into the rotation for this defensive line, who is wildly versatile. He could play off ball as well. Like, he's just that dude. This is only going to end up giving a bit more juice into Bosa, being able to rest a little longer, being able to be at full energy during key third down situations when we need an absolute play. Adding Michael Hoecht and Larry Ogunjobi to this defensive line now gives us a semblance of what this defensive line was envisioned to look like going into the season. So just having these two players added is going to be light years better in the run stopping situations. And then hopefully that ends up elevating into the secondary. That would be ideal. Now, I think a lot of us are probably curious about Maxwell Hairston, right? Dan, when are we going to see Maxwell Hairston out there, dude? I'll tell you what, not soon enough, man. Not soon enough. I would love Maxwell Hairston to be out there versus the Carolina Panthers. His 21-day practice window has been opened, and that's via the NFL transaction wire. Now, it does not mean that he needs to wait the full 21 days. You can be elevated to the roster as soon as tomorrow, right? Like Sean McDermott could hit the podium and say, yeah, he's being elevated to the 53-man roster. He's ready to go against Carolina. That would be cool, but I don't think that it's going to happen. I think that Maxwell Hairston is at the very least, at the soonest, is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs game. And that's even ballsy. Like, that would be a lot to ask of a rookie who has not had a actual regulation or really a professional snap at all, right? And so dude didn't even have a preseason game. So asking him to go guard Xavier Worthy for his first game probably is not the best thing for his confidence. I mean, I'm all in for throwing a young man into the Wolves. But say that I'm a gambling man, I think that we're going to see him after the Kansas City Chiefs game. So, folks, unfortunately, we're going to be seeing Tre'Davious White for at least the next 2 games. Hopefully, this secondary can figure some things out. I do think that they looked at least encouraging for the past 2 second halves we played football, like holding opposing teams to only 9 points. But this guy was always the plan for CB2, folks. So it was always the plan. I never bought into the whole Sean McDermott saying, oh, yeah, dude, he might not even play all season. I wasn't buying into that, right? Like, there's no way. He's going to get him as ready as humanly possible. More than likely, I think we'll see him against Miami. If he's out there versus the Kansas City Chiefs, that's cool. Because damn, we need some help at that CB2 position. I think that Maxwell Hairston gets it done for us. I genuinely believe that. I really, really do. So, folks, as you're coming in, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up sign. We are discussing everything Buffalo Bills related, most notably the 3 players that have returned to their day-to-day. That is Michael Hoecht, Larry Ogunjobi, and, of course, our first-round pick, Maxwell Hairston. His 21-day practice window has been open. We have Eric coming in saying, why hasn't he played? He hurt his knee in training camp, my friend. I'm all for Hancock at safety. I mean, me too. Me too. I just don't know if the Bills are interested. Rapp is an issue. And I have a feeling that Rapp may indeed be benched. But surprisingly enough, I think that if there is any move at all, it's going to be Jordan Poyer. And people probably threw up in their mouth a little bit. So when I said that, right? Like people probably threw up in their mouth a tad when I suggested that that's the case. But all I can go off of is how this front office and coaching staff operates, who they trust. Like, look at the receipts of their behavior in the past. And while Hancock would be a better option for myself, I think the coaching staff is going to lean Jordan Poyer and have him be running mates with Cole Bishop. And I know people are kind of like concerned about it, but one thing I can tell you is I think Jordan Poyer is a better answer than Taylor Rapp right now. I really, really do. And so I think that he's a better option. So don't be surprised if once again he's elevated to this team or even signed, because where it stands, guys, this Buffalo Bills team has 3 open roster spots, right? Well, so now 1, since we had 2 guys elevated. Max Hairston's in his 21-day practice window. Is that being left open for him, or is Buffalo going to be elevating our good friend Jordan Poyer to the roster? I think that's a different conversation. White will get cooked by the Chiefs receivers. Please let this be the last year for feel-good stories and bringing back old players. So right now I'm just excited, or like I'm just looking at the Carolina Panthers game. As far as the Kansas City Chiefs are concerned, if like you guys think that we're bad at stopping the run, and the Kansas City Chiefs are the worst team in the NFL for stopping the run. Very bad with advanced metrics. So I think, so with this Buffalo Bills team, and remember, like we often get this criticism from many sports analysts saying that Buffalo builds itself to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs. That's still very true. That's still very, very true. So don't be surprised if like you go out there, like I'm super confident that Buffalo is going to go out and play a really good game against Carolina, but I am double as confident that Buffalo is going to go out and play a very good game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And so I'm not going to say that we're going to win that one, but I can tell you it's going to be wildly competitive. And I do think that this offense was built exclusively to get past the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that's kind of where we're at right now. Statement. Bills always lose 2 in October. It is a Bills tradition. This team is going to come out hot from the bye. They also always do this. They are undefeated coming off of the bye. We averaged 27.5 points coming out after the bye. Smash that. Subscribe and hit those bell notifications so you do not miss a beat. Scott, better yet, Trey on Rice or Brown is even scarier. Is there any news on Milano still suffering from a pec injury? We ultimately end up getting our first official injury report tomorrow. That's when we hear from Sean McDermott and we hear these things from his mouth. But no news on any of the other injuries we were dealing with prior to the bye. I agree with you. Poyer is a better option. And that's not saying much. And so I'm not saying that Poyer is a dog. But based off of what Taylor Rapp has been putting out on the field, like Poyer is probably the better option right now. Question, I thought it was Max because he was on the IR. So was he on the roster the whole time? No, when you're on the IR, you are not on the roster. He's on a 21-day practice window. He can practice with the team, but he's not officially on the 53 until he is elevated to the 53. So where it stands going into the bye, we let go of Chiarlo and we added Hamlin and TJ Sanders to the IR. So rather than 53, we had only 50 guys on our roster. Now that we're bringing back Ogunjobi and Michael Hoecht, now we're sitting at 52, and we have 1 extra spot on this roster. It is either going to be a Maxwell Hairston is rushed back and he's elevated to this roster leading up into the Panthers game. I would be shocked if that was the case. How desperate is this team? Or number 2, I think that we're going to be signing Jordan Poyer to the active day roster. I think it's one of those 2 things. What will happen, though? Cole Bishop just cannot be on the field on 3rd down. Literally, they stopped the Lions. I don't know about that. Nice, Dan. Good to know for week 9. Mike, I'm about to throw up thinking about Trey White on Xavier Worthy. It's all good, though, because he's a football player and fits our culture. Stop with this. I'm about to throw up thinking Trey White on Xavier Worthy. Well, you know what, Mike? Suit up. Suit up and get out there. Suit up and get out there, my friend. I'm just kidding, Mike. It's not ideal. It's not ideal, dude. But, like, what else can we possibly do? How we can fix this, guys, how we can fix this is just make sure our defensive line is just so damn good that we make them one-dimensional and hope for the best. Like, that's really what it is. Guys, like, we have seen Super Bowl defenses with god-awful CB2s. God-awful CB2s. We have seen it all. And so the Kansas City Chiefs have won Super Bowls with Mike Hughes as their CB2. Like, we have seen teams make it to the Super Bowl with Eli Apple as their CB2, right? A bad CB2 is not going to make your team's season spiral down the drain. It's just not what it is. So what we got to do is hope Michael Hoecht and Larry Ogunjobi can get this done for us, and help us out a little bit in stopping the run. And do we have the worst overall defense in the league? No, surprisingly enough, we're still top 10 in points allowed. We're just bad at stopping the run. XO put Dan the man. And the Bills always beat Kansas City in the regular season. Might as well lose and then beat them in the playoffs when it matters. Yeah, I don't know if we're in a situation where I would feel comfortable about that. Right now, we need to go on ahead and steal that division back from the Patriots. So I don't think that we should go out there with that mentality as of yet. Like, say, for example, like we had like a 3-game lead, I would be more so keen to it. But now we got to win everything in front of us right now, right up until things start getting a bit more interesting. And so our wide receivers cannot get open. People are manning up against us, and Josh is stuck standing there with 0 people to throw to. So what Josh has open players underneath. Like, he has the check down ready to go just about each and every single play. So we're not utilizing running backs in the pass game. We've been injured, so we really haven't been running out of 12-man personnel. What the Buffalo Bills need to do is run out of 12-man personnel. Like, that's when they are dangerous. That is their advantage against every single team in the NFL. By having a top 5 offensive line, by having 3 tight ends, by having 3 running backs that are capable in catching passes out of the backfield. That's what we need to revert to. Like, stop with this, like, downfield passing. I almost wonder if, like, Joe Brady or like so with Allen was like watching social media and like he was seeing fans get pissed off that he wasn't stretching the ball downfield. I highly doubt that, but still. And so I remember weeks 1 through 4, people were like, oh man, like, why can't we stretch the ball downfield? This is terrible. And then he does it, and now he has 4 interceptions, where last year through 6 games, he had 0. So I'm not even particularly sure that that's the case. Going off topic a little, and do you think Bean has a big trade for a wide receiver deep threat? Maybe. But, like, here's the deal. As much as I love Josh Allen, he's not good at the deep ball. He's never been good at the deep ball. Maybe outside of 2020. Like, maybe outside of 2020, he's just never been good at stretching the field, right? Like, right now, like, he's 4th in the league for downfield attempts. His passer rating is like 22, like 20 yards downfield. So maybe a wide receiver, like maybe he could fix that, but I doubt it. Like, just go on ahead and just go on ahead and do what is consistent. And that is take underneath stuff and do what you can. I think Joey Bosa and Greg Rousseau are about to rip apart these Kansas City Chiefs offensive tackles. They have looked terrible this year. Let's think about the Carolina Panthers first. Save Milano until the playoffs. Foyer can tackle, but he is slower. We have what's up, Dan, my man. Parks, what's going on, man? Hope all is well. Happy Tuesday. If we don't seek a solution by trade deadline, and do we just keep doing what we are doing or try something new? Poyer is not great, but Rapp is terrible. So I think a lot of the answers on defense are on this roster, but they are hurt and or coming off of suspension. Even if that isn't the case, we are not a player away from fixing this defense. We are a player away, though, from being able to elevate this offense to the next level, right? So I would be interested in Olave. In fact, I would argue that's probably one of the only wide receivers that I would really want. And so is Olave. And so I saw a couple people be like, oh my God, Dan, what about Tyler Lockett? No, I'm good on Tyler Lockett. I'm good on 33-year-old backup slot wide receiver Tyler Lockett. And so Olave would be a dream. Dan, Bob Mitchell coming soon. I would not have put my hair on the line. I would not have put my hair on the line if I didn't believe it, my friend. Don't worry about that. Are we moving forward, T-Bass and Matt, after this season? It's a great question. Bring Milano back week 18 against the Jets so he gets some playing time before the playoffs. He'll probably be back in a couple of weeks. Off-topic question. Yo, Dan, why don't we utilize Shakir similar to how Seattle uses JSN? A 6 foot, 190, both 4'4", and both have good hands. It's interesting, right? It's definitely interesting. I feel like this team is trying to force and make Keon Coleman a good wide receiver. He shouldn't. All right. So Keon Coleman should not be leading in snaps. He should also not be leading in targets, right? He can be a contributor to this team, but like it's this offense's obsession with trying to get him going. He's not that player. He's not a wide receiver number one. He's not, right? He was supposed to be a Gabe Davis replacement. Like that's all he was. In my opinion, I would like to limit the targets for Keon Coleman. And I would like to revert back to Khalil Shakir. I would like to revert back to James Cook in the pass game specifically. If defensive coordinators are going out there saying, look, I'm going to spy Josh Allen, like how you destroy these fools is utilizing Khalil Shakir and running backs in the pass game. That's what you do. That's how you get over it. We have Earl. Dan, thoughts on the chances of DT Jeffrey Simmons being available for Buffalo for trade before the deadline? I would love him for our line. I'd take him over any speedy wide receiver. Expensive. And I'm not sure if the Bills feel the same way about the D-line. So I'm not opposed to that, but what are the chances Bean and McDermott go out and grab someone? So they always do, right? So for the past 2 off seasons, they've went out and they did end up making a move at the deadline. Last year was Amari Cooper, and the year before was Rasul Douglas. So I'm confident that we will go out and try and bring in some help. I think it's a wide receiver. I don't think that it's defense. Dan, we need to trade now. So the Bills have become the team that is okay with being a perennial contender. We use culture to justify losing. We need a win first, and then you could love everyone. Interesting. Wide 9, someone's saying. And so I'm enjoying your Chiefs talk this morning. I'm not concerned about the Chiefs until next week. Douglas lost a step last year. I don't know what the coaches want him back or want someone younger. He's on the Dolphins. Bills win regular season. Don't go changing up on me now. Hey. All right, maybe it's y'all's turn to win the regular season, Jamie. Yeah, maybe it's y'all's turn to win it. Carolina quietly on a 3-game win streak. Indeed. But who did they play, right? We will be on top of the division by Sunday night. Reverse psychology is all. Question, Dan, is Max getting ready for Kansas City in your opinion? So I think it's a lot to ask of a rookie that has not had a single professional snap for his first game. So to go up against a Kansas City Chiefs like wide receiving core. So I think we'll probably see him against Miami. And Miami will probably have an interim head coach by that point. Who knows if Waddle is still on that team. I think that's when we see Maxwell Hairston, which I'd be completely fine with. Cook should have had 4+ catches every game. I agree. We have, what's your ceiling for this D-line rotation? Great or Super Bowl elite? Great. I wouldn't say Super Bowl elite. However, like actually bringing a veteran to the interior defensive line is a hell of a lot better than a practice squad player that's getting significant snaps and or a rookie that's getting significant snaps. So Larry Ogunjobi being added to the rotation is going to improve our run defense. That much I can tell you. That much I can tell you. We are about to see a significant improvement in yards per carry from opposing running back since Ogunjobi is back on this. I genuinely believe that. That's where I'm at. We have Josh Allen is better at throwing it hard with accuracy. Had to make a delivery. What did I miss? We're just chopping it up a little bit about the Bills, man. That's it. This Panthers matchup is a great opportunity for the Bills defense to work on their run defense going forward. You have to believe. For sure. For sure, man. Look, how I look at this is how the Panthers are probably going to attack this team is they're probably going to use a lot of Rico Dowdle. They're probably going to use a lot of Hubbard. They're probably going to try and run the damn ball against us. And then Andy Dalton is probably going to attempt and pick on Tre'Davious White. I think more than likely you're going to be seeing Xavier Legette likely on him, right? Trey White, can you just make a single play for me? Wouldn't that be a deal? Shaheed and Woolen. We would need to go on ahead. We would need to go on ahead and really make some cap moves for that one. As far as Woolen, so the second that Maxwell Hairston was activated right off of IR, that completely threw away me thinking that we were targeting a corner, right? That right there made it completely off of the table. Rather have Shaheed from the Saints. Wide receivers matter. Check Flacco's stat line last week. My question is, why aren't we throwing to our running backs when Palmer went down? No Kincaid, no Samuel. Get 2 running backs on the field. Brady is a bum. Ryan is upset with Joe Brady. Clinton, when the Bills try to force something like targeting to Coleman, it doesn't work. Not natural. We need to relax and take what the D gives us. For sure. I totally agree. How much of an advantage does Maxwell Hairston have over Trey White at CB? It's tough to say. It's tough to say, right? He's never played an NFL snap in his career. Yeah, he had some promising tape coming out of Kentucky, right? And I'm super optimistic that he can be a very good corner in the league, but I mean, he's got to prove it. He's got to prove it. What can he be? What are the chances the Bills trade for a safety like Budda Baker? Slim to none, man. Say that we make any move at all, it's going to be a wide receiver. Largely because this defense has a lot of holes. And we are far more than just a single player from improving this defense. Thankfully, we have 2 players coming off of suspension, and this is how this team is looking at it. They're looking at all these guys coming off of injury and coming off of suspension, and they're looking at that as their trade acquisitions or their roster additions midway through the season. So I don't think that we're really going to be looking at defense at all. Say that anything were to happen, it's going to be a wide receiver and somebody that's a bargain bin. And so I think Olave is probably the best option. And do you have any thoughts on what this team is going to look like next year? I feel like we will have a lot of new faces with players and coordinators. I try not to think about that. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough, man. Don't worry. We have all offseason. And to chop that up, though, Spidey, my guy. I really don't get the hype for Olave. How does he elevate this offense in any way? I mean, he's a wide receiver number 1. So he would automatically be the best wide receiver on this team. He would create the most separation more than likely. He's fast. He runs like a 4.4, like 4.3. He's super speedy. He could play on the outside. And more importantly, he's somebody that defensive coordinators have to respect, which would ultimately end up leaving up a lot of options in the pass game for us. So with Olave would be the dream. But the problem is, what about his injury history? Is he going to be a problem if, for example, he goes down with another concussion? Because, folks, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And so I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Say that Olave goes down with one more concussion, that's his career. He's done. I guarantee you he plays better than Trey McDermott soft. Yeah, with Josh, I'm pretty sure all us mods are allowing the post. You don't have to delete it. Oh. Missed you yesterday, Dan. Our rivals were going in on our Bills, and they're starting to believe our window is closed and are ready to bend the crown. Pays with the division champs. Well, hey, you know what, man? So I put my hair on the line, folks. I said that I am that confident that Buffalo is going to win the AFC East. If I am wrong, I am going to get a buzz cut. And no, I'm not going Mr. Clean. I'm going a 2-guard, ladies and gentlemen. A 2-guard all across the dome. If that is the case, that was the bet. But have no fear. My luscious locks will be here for quite some time. Okay, have no fear with that. Scott's coming in. Is Lockett an older slot guy? Need to stretch the field is what everyone is saying. Yeah, I'm going to pass on Lockett. I'm definitely going to pass on Lockett. Sorry, I see grammar error and want to correct it. We have Olave and AJ both had monster games this past week, and we'll probably do it again this week. Then the asking price is going to go through the roof. So do we really care about a first-round pick anymore? And so do we really care about a first-round pick? Especially since, so I look at Brandon Beane's history of being able to hit on early round draft picks. It's not very good. With the exception of Josh Allen, I really can't think of a consistent quality player we have selected in the first round. I suppose there is an argument for Ed Oliver. That I will give you. But the past couple of first round picks have not really been living up to expectation. Maybe Dalton Kincaid is finally starting to get there. But when you were a good team in the NFL, you only ever pick between 25 and 32, right? And each and every single first round draft class never has 32 first round grades. Once you get past the first 15 picks of any NFL draft, it's a glorified second round pick. Because 9 times out of 10, those players truly aren't first round talents. And it's a crapshoot as into who is going to be a contributor. So for me, screw a first round pick. I don't think Olave is going to cost a first round. Largely because I think that his concussion history plays a role. And number 2, don't buy into that whole, with the New Orleans Saints are serious about extending him to New Orleans. No way. That was a smokescreen and a ploy to elevate his value in the market. So I still think that Buffalo is pretty interested. Question, why do we love those good quality, high character bums? Please elaborate, Dan. These good quality, high character bums. Who are the good character, high quality bums, my boy? Yeah, who are they? Dan, we get 2 players back, but we still have 1 roster spot available. Who is your best guess as to who that will be? It will be welcoming Jordan Poyer back as the starting safety of the Buffalo Bills. That's my hot take, is that it is going to be Jordan Poyer. 5% chance that it's going to be Maxwell Hairston, but I highly doubt that we rush him back that early. But I have a good feeling that Jordan Poyer is going to be the guy that's elevated. Wide receiver is number 1 thing we need. If anything, our defense is a safety. Welcome back, J Poe. Hey, Dan, any prediction on Bills' score against the Panthers? What do you think the first drive looks like for Bills, or should we focus on the second and third drive since we tend to falter after that? Are there any predictions of the Bills' score against the Panthers? What do you think the first drive looks like for the Bills? It's probably all going to go to the script. And so I think Buffalo will march down the field and score. But then afterwards, hopefully we don't see this, but it's been the trend for this team. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, dude. And so my preview for the Panthers game is going to be tomorrow. Have no fear. And so I'm going to start really unpacking this team. If we're being honest, and the last time we utilized the RBs down the field were last season during playoffs against the Broncos. In my opinion, so their biggest need was a safety all off season and in the draft, and I wanted them to take Nick Emanwari, he's killing it now too. I liked Emanwari as well. I really, really did. Deep threat. It generates gravity. It takes away defenders from other receivers so they can eat more. And the hype for Olave is common sense. Absolutely. Melissa, say we pick up Olave. Can we trust Brady to use him well? Yeah, I would say so. And so I would definitely say so. So I think when we got Amari Cooper last year, like we had those first couple of games where he was still trying to familiarize himself with the playbook. And then unfortunately he got hurt, but he still played through it. You saw Amari Cooper completely open up everything with this offense. Like his presence alone was going out there and making plays. So without having the trade, what about Simmons, who is still unsigned? Looked like he had some left in the tank in ATL last year. I mean, maybe we're considering it, but I think that will probably end up going a Poyer. And so I agree with Olave. He is one concussion away from retirement. So it's something to think about. Off-topic question, Rockets or OKC tonight, NBA opening night. So surprisingly enough, I'm not a basketball guy, and so I really don't follow it as much as I should. But I suppose I have to go with the reigning champions. That's going to be another bad contract on Bean's head. Ryan is coming in, and our two losses are 100% on our coaching staff, lack of creativity and bad scheme. And with Babbage is in above his head, forget Olave. He's one concussion away from retirement. Question, and do you think the mentality behind the draft, develop and re-sign, hurts us in getting good talent? No. And so I can't think of a team that is as consistent as the Buffalo Bills. And some of you are probably going to be like, oh, man. And so we haven't won a Super Bowl. Like what team has consistently made the Super Bowl from the AFC minus the Kansas City Chiefs? Like minus the Chiefs, right? With every other team that you see in the playoffs from the AFC, sometimes like you'll see them make the playoffs and have 1 to 2 down years, miss it all entirely. Like the Jaguars, for example, right? Like with the Buffalo Bills, like being as consistent as they are, we have the formula. Stay healthy and win games when they matter. Win games when they matter, man. Damn, man, we are talking ball today, baby. 303 of you are in here. We have Ian is in the building. I got 5K riding on the Bengals minus 4.5 against the Jets. It's probably a good bet. Man. And so I'm not sure if the Jets are going to win a single game this year. David is coming in. Bills defense can't stop anything. Just got to hope that the offense can keep up. I mean, maybe we need Sean McDermott and to go on ahead and start calling plays. So I mean that there were TB12 years. It was all New England then, for sure. Currently consistently losing. And so what's our record, Jeff? It's I'm a Bills fan or no fan, but I'm not about to play myself either. And so I would rather win a Super Bowl and be bad a year than be consistently good and never get there. I'm sure every other team in the AFC currently feels that way, right? It's how it is. Don't poo your pants on that one. Let James cook. Dan, what happens if we lose on Sunday? And then we lose. And so I really don't know what to tell you, right? And so we lose. And we just bounce back. We just make the playoffs. Like, that's really all we can do. Man. And so I think Olave is risky, yes, but what else at the price as a number one should we get? And the Eagles and Brown, especially after this last week, aren't moving, and likely Waddle, I think, is the only other option, but at what price? And so Olave is our best option for price. And so is Waddle. With Waddle would only cost about $600,000 this year. Next year, I think he's around $7 million or something against the cap. And the following year is when his cap hits crazy. He's like $27 million, but like at that point, and so we'd probably have plenty of money in 2027, and we'd be able to extend him or give him a new deal if necessary. So with Olave and Waddle are probably the most cap-friendly options for a wide receiver number one on the market right now. It's just kind of how it is. And so I believe Babich needs to implement more man into the defense. This zone just isn't working, and it is so predictable. So do you trust Trey White in man coverage? Right? And so do you trust Benford in man? So do you trust Taron Johnson in man coverage? Like that's so the only issue is that like we don't have the personnel that can run man. Let me see. Waddle would be a great branding addition to the snowy Buffalo Bills. We could use Penguin on the squad. I love it. I love it. Dan, and do you think our team's lacking motivation, like too many injuries, etc.? So the injuries suck, right? But now we have a couple of players and they're coming back. And then hopefully this like new look sort of defensive line is going to look a hell of a lot better. Quit wasting so many plays with Keon. I agree. And so I like the idea of Waddle here. What's the cost though? It would cost us about $600,000 against the cap. We'd probably send over a first round pick for him. And in my opinion, screw that first round pick. Screw that first round pick, man. Finns may not want to lose him, but I see Waddle as the best option. Stress the defense and may work best with Brady. Everyone eats. He took the back seats without a complaint to Hill. Just go get Cam Taylor-Britt from the Bengals and Rashid and Davis from the Saints. That's pricey, man. And so we have $2 million to spend this year. Dan, and the Chiefs and Eagles are more consistent than the Buffalo Bills. So the Chiefs are for sure, but with the Philadelphia Eagles. So would you say so they got first rounded right in the wild card 2 years ago, won the Super Bowl last year, 3 years ago, lost the Super Bowl. So I'd probably say Philadelphia is probably right there. And my take was on the AFC, not the NFC. I definitely take Waddle, you and me both. I bet they trade for a retired Panther. Bills have to give Miami an offer they can't refuse because we would trade a weapon like that into the same division. For sure. Poona Ford is crushing it right now. With our track record at first-round picks, Waddle would be worth it. He would be. Absolutely incredibly. But, all right, folks. That's going to have to do it for today's stream. Have no fear. Tomorrow, I will be back for my preview of the Carolina Panthers game. And I will open up the Garage Beer hotline then. And so I know a lot of you are feeling some type of way. This has been absolutely miserable for me, right? Especially since, like, I love a lot of you, but damn, dude, like, talk about the biggest storm of negativity I've ever seen in my entire life. It's driving me absolutely nuts. I need this team. I need this team to win on Sunday. So a lot of you, respectfully, I love you for saying this, shut the hell up. All right? Like, I need this team to win. I need this team to go on a damn run. So I don't need to hear any more negativity. It's driving me up the wall. Maybe it's deserved, but damn, dude, I love all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be live tomorrow morning unpacking the Carolina Panthers game, everything you need to know about them. And yeah, I will see you on 4th and Forever a bit later too. Peace.